By the way, the Sinister Five is a great name for a boy band. Hey guys, it's Chris, and in today's video, I'm talking about Marvel's Spider-Man Season 1, Episode 25. This episode is titled Hobgoblin Part 1. Let's get into it! In the previous episode, Harry tries to disarm a bomb in Osborn Academy set by the Jackal. Harry fails to disarm the bomb. Spider-Man grabs Harry and escapes the explosion. This makes Harry furious and he takes his anger out on Spider-Man. At this point in Season 1, Harry knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So when he's taking his anger out on Spider-Man, he's also taking his anger out on Peter Parker, his best friend. Spider-Man retreats and Harry goes back to Oscorp. Harry Osborn takes Norman to a secret room in Oscorp. Norman tells Harry, "You've graduated." We are shown Harry is going to become the Hobgoblin. I wanted to explain a little bit of the previous episode because in this episode, this is when we're finally shown Harry as the Hobgoblin. So I just wanted to explain how and why he becomes the Hobgoblin, which happens in the previous episode. In this episode, Spider-Man takes on Doc Ock and his Sinister Five. They want to brainwash Spider-Man and destroy New York City. The episode begins with the aftermath of the Spider Monsters. The citizens have thanked Spider-Man for saving the day. Peter arrives at Oscorp and offers Harry help, but Harry refuses. Dr. Octopus attacks Max Modell and causes a building fire. Spider-Man confronts Dr. Octopus and the two battle in a burning building. Toasty, is it hot in here or is it just me? During the battle, Dr. Octopus summons his minions. The Sinister Five assemble. Rhino, Vulture, Spider Slayer, Steel Spider, and Dr. Octopus. Spider-Man tries to track Dr. Octopus, but fails. Otto and the Five retreat with Max, and Spider-Man follows them. Three of the villains attack Spider-Man one at a time. First is the Vulture. Spider-Man battles the Vulture in the air above the streets of NYC. The battle then proceeds to the docks. Spider-Man kicks Vulture into the ground. Spider-Man then battles the Steel Spider. The battle begins on the ground, but then proceeds underwater. It's an intense battle that ends on the surface. The battle ends when Spider-Man sends a metal disc to the Steel Spider's face. Now that's gonna leave a mark. Rhino arrives on the scene. Spider-Man battles the Rhino in a train yard. With the help from a moving train, Spider-Man stops the Rhino. Rhino takes the train to the face. Oh. Sorry. Spider-Man arrives at Dr. Octopus's lab and is attacked by the Spider Slayer. Once in the lab, Otto tells Spider-Man he used Max Modell to lure him to his lab. Dr. Octopus places a mind control device on Spider-Man and he joins Otto's team. All of the members of the Sinister Five are being mind controlled by Dr. Octopus. But now that Spider-Man is part of the Sinister Five, it makes it the Sinister Six. So 5 of the members, Rhino, Vulture, Steel Spider, Spider Slayer, and Spider-Man, are being all mind controlled by Dr. Octopus. The Sinister Six attacks an armored truck. Behold the terrifying might of my Sinister Six. Now this is by far my favorite quote in this episode and probably my favorite quote of Season 1. Norman convinces Harry to become the Hobgoblin. Stop, Spider-Man. The Six terrorize through the streets and rooftops of NYC. Hobgoblin confronts the Sinister Six and they battle. Hobgoblin dodges missiles and takes out Spider Slayer and the Vulture first. He then proceeds to take out the Rhino. He slides under the Rhino in slow motion and then proceeds to tase him. Hobgoblin takes out the steel spider with his fire sword. Hobgoblin slices off some of Steel Spider's mechanical legs. He's just slicing with his fire sword, and the Steel Spider's just blocking him with his mechanical legs, almost like a spider. Makes sense. Steel Spider. And Hobgoblin just slices off, I want to say like 2 of them, just, and he's kind of just like, okay, I'm good. Don't slice any more limbs off, please. Hobgoblin learns during the battle Spider-Man is being mind-controlled. Spider-Man beats up Hobgoblin pretty well. Spider-Man kicks Harry off the roof. While falling, Harry snaps Peter out of being mind-controlled. Spider-Man saves Harry before he falls to his death. Peter was able to overcome Dr. Octopus's mind control because of Harry. Spider-Man and Hobgoblin battle the Sinister Five. Spider-Man zips off the devices from the other villains. The other villains become free of Dr. Octopus's mind control. In defeat, Dr. Octopus and some of the Sinister Five retreat. Spider-Man takes an injured Harry back to Oscorp. Norman Osborn is relieved Spider-Man has saved his son's life. After Spider-Man leaves, Norman tells Harry he failed him. He was told to stop Spider-Man. Just imagine having a dad just like Norman Osborn, where no matter what you do and no matter what you try to do to become a hero, it's never good enough. This episode ends teasing that Norman is going to finally take matters into his own hands. Teasing Green Goblin? Nah, he's just going to become Hobgoblin too. I'm dead serious. That's what happens in Hobgoblin Part 2. Hobgoblin Part 1 features the well-known Dr. Octopus. This time, he assembles the Sinister Five. This episode features a variety of battles from rooftops to underwater. The battles are the biggest highlights of this episode. I've come to notice after watching completely all of Season 1 of Marvel Spider-Man, I noticed they really like to use slow motion in their action or battle sequences. Not just in this episode, but in Season 1 as a whole. This episode adds a layer to the Sinister 5 and 6 formula. Spider-Man's usually always fighting the Sinister Six, but what if he was part of this notorious group? I mean, he wouldn't be part of it willingly, but I do like how they add that twist. Like, all these villains that are working with Dr. Octopus, they're only working with him because they're being mind-controlled. Same thing with Spider-Man. So I think it's a clever and interesting idea. Hobgoblin Part 1 ends on a cliffhanger, but sets up a captivating season finale. I'm Spider-ManChris, and I'll see you in the next one.